Hey, what's up? Are you going to go through the numbers in your business this winter and kind of look at the data and look at how much money you made? How much did you make average on each job, your average ticket price, and look at your marketing and uh, how was your business going to be different in 2019? What's up, Mac the Gardener? This is Keith Kelfis of the Window Cleaning Blueprint channel, where I document my journey from all the way from being stuck in a 9 to 5 job and getting into landscaping, then eventually getting into the window cleaning business, and sharing my experience of how you can. I'm the startup guy, right? What's up, Angela Carlton? And so here in this video, I was just saying it might be obvious to some, but I think it can take a few years of banging your head up against the wall before you start to realize some changes need to be made, or before you know it, the next season will come upon us, and then you might be caught up into the same shapes and patterns as the previous year. So, talking about not taking your foot off the gas and keeping your conscious focus on what's important and what's not. So some of the things I'll be looking at, because I know, maybe with you, but I know that some changes need to be made in my business in order for it to get off a plateau or to grow if I choose to grow it. And a lot of it's based around pressing the pause button and taking a cold hard look at the facts and separating the facts from the feelings, right? We all know it's not easy. It's very physically demanding. It's emotionally and mentally and time consuming running a service business. And so I was listening to a podcast the other day with lawn care millionaire Jonathan Potoshnik, if you know who this is. And I've met a lot of amazing people in the past 12 months, especially. And he said something interesting. He said he got to a point in his business where he just got rid of all the low paying. He only kept the cream of the crop of his highest paying customers, and he only did the shit that made him the most amount of money. But the funny thing is, when he finally got to that point of frustration where he's like, I'm quitting this thing, you don't just quit something, you milk it for all it's worth first, or you price yourself out of the business, or you could quit cold turkey, whatever. But I was going to say, it's not like smoking, like, I'm not even going to go there. Never mind. But he said the funny thing is it actually started to work at that point. So when you hit resolution within yourself, where you draw your line in the sand, that's it. I don't care if this client's my friend and I'm cool with this client. This is my new price. How many clients do you have like that? I don't care if this is convenient. I'm not doing it anymore. And so there's a lot of conflicting information you'll get from people at all different levels. And I'm not giving any advice here in this video. I'm speaking in terms of a question. I'm creating a conversation, which is because I've heard plenty of guys say, and that I know personally in business, well, those are your bread and butter jobs, right? Well, the question is can you grow a legitimate, healthy company where there's room and profit for growth off of these bread and butter jobs? And what is the frequency of those jobs? Is there any room for upsell on those jobs? What's the lifetime customer? What's the value of those jobs? And I'm reading the comments. Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing I'll be doing this winter. We've got Google as a CRM. We signed up this summer with servicemonster.net. We have a lot of data in QuickBooks as well, so I'll be looking at all the data of the business because I do landscaping and tree trimming as well, and I don't do snow plowing anymore. And the reason I quit snow plowing is because in the winter I like to write books. And you asked if I plow snow anymore, and I had snow plowing railroad so many of my plans that I was so absolutely frustrated that I said, I don't care if I lose everything. I'm never fucking snowplowing again, man. I had to get to that point, right? And then it worked out. It worked out. So, as I bring up many times, Seth Godin has a book called The Dip. He says people that get to a point where they slam their shit down and they storm out of the office, they say, you know what? They go to the boss and say, you're giving me a raise or a promotion or I'm out of here right now, this second. Those are the people that usually get what they want. What is the lowest a newbie should charge to do storefronts? I mean, I would get an ass whooping for telling you this because it's totally false information. The lowest amount you should charge here, I'll give you the is so fucking expensive that you'll never get a storefront ever. How about that? But the more realistic answer is whatever the hell you can get. It depends on how bad you need money. When I first started doing storefronts, some storefronts I did for $4, $5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to $80 for restaurants. Looking back, I couldn't even survive doing that now. So, do you charge extra for filthy, nasty windows? Of course. If you get the money, you don't do anything for free. But in the world we live in, however your level of consciousness and how you market yourself and how much belief you have in yourself, when you change the way you see things, the things you see literally change. Like Max Planck, when he accepted the Nobel Prize, was basically talking about quarks and quantum physics, saying, it is very, very true, because there could be a you now, a you 5 years ago, and a you 5 years from now, and you all go up to the same, like you have this quantum wormhole thing that happens. You walk into a place of business, and you ask for the owner, and you try to sell him on window cleaning or whatever the hell you're trying to sell him. The current you might be able to talk that guy into $100. You 5 years ago, maybe he would have kicked you out of the store, or maybe you would have sold him on $20 to do the same job, right? But you 5 years from now might be able to talk him into $500 to do the same thing. And depending on the way you see it, in the way that you believe it, in your level of certainty will transform the way that guy values you and your service at the moment based off, the commodity of what everybody else would do. And I think that's what we're all fighting against, is a linear versus quantum, or linear versus geometric perspective. Okay, with the system is very stacked against us. The system wants to create you being extremely busy, not being successful. And in the lower, I know I talk about some crazy shit. It's very, very logical. It's very stable when you build a structure and infrastructure that you can flow, put $1 in a top, and $2 comes out the bottom. But my argument is the risk versus the reward. How much energy and risk and liability exposure do you put into something or open yourself up to versus the reward? And at what point does it cross the fulcrum to where now the reward is far exceeding the risk? Okay, and where does that balance? Is a water-fed pull system worth it? I mean, it's a little bit slower than ladders, but it's a lot safer. And if you have employees, you have less liability. I love the water-fed pull. I mean, I'm a window cleaner. I own a window cleaning business, and I ain't going up on no motherfucking ladder like that shit. No! Fuck that. That's how I started the first year and a half, going up on ladders cleaning, but I'm like 24 feet up in the air, dude, and the ground's like this, and I'm up here fucking like this, with my fucking knees shaking in the freezing cold. And I was like, fuck this. I remember cleaning mansions for like $140 while the owner is looking out their Mercedes Benzes in the driveway, and the owner is looking out the window, smoking a cigar, looking at me. Look at this fucking idiot on a ladder cleaning my windows. And they knew I didn't have insurance when I very first started, right? And they're like, this guy is a class A fucking idiot. He's literally 2 stories up in the freezing cold. Look at, hey, Martha, come here, come here. They're on the phone with their other rich friends. Look at this fucking idiot. This guy's like 30 years old, and he's on a 2-story ladder cleaning my whole house. This is great for $140. And then I would go to collect the check, right? I would go to collect the check, and I'd be like, they're like, well, how much is the bill? Because I didn't even like tell them or something. They'd be like, and I'm like, well, how much do you think I should charge you, master? And they're like, well, I'm like, what do you think it should be? 140 as well. I just spent $10,000 on this fucking new furniture set, but $140 seems a little high. So, does $90 work? 90? Well, I was thinking more like 75. Right? And while I'm on the ladder with the squeegee, I'm like there was so many times where I was like, I'm literally I'm getting down from this ladder, and I'm going home with my tail in between my legs like a little bitch, because I'm fucking terrified of dying and ending up in a wheelchair, paralyzed for the rest of my life, because I want to clean the fucking windows, right? So I was so scared. And see, this is your guys' fault. This is your fault. Whoa. I stayed on the ladder and I kept cleaning the fucking windows because I knew that if when you feel like you don't have any other choice, you will literally climb and you'll go to hell and you'll climb into the mouth of a dragon, right? And you will play checkers in the mouth of a fucking dragon so it's amazing what you'll do when you feel like you don't have a choice. But when you feel like you don't have a choice, how much money you make this year, champ? It's really sad to tell you, I have to do my quarterly review, so I don't fucking know. It's probably something around 200,000 between my 2 businesses. And I may be off by 20 grand. I'm sorry. But I have to look at my my year-end review. Okay? So, and that's about that. And I'm a little embarrassed because my goal this year was $250,000. And I'm probably not going to hit it whatsoever at all. Why? Because I went to work this year saying, I'm going to hit $250,000. Like, I'm just going to work my fucking ass off. And what happens? What happens when you work your ass off? When you don't have enough systems and protocols, when you don't have high enough pricing to afford, right, to build an infrastructure. You know, and this is like the shit I don't hear anybody fucking talk about. They say close the sale, close the deal. Well, closing the deal at what? At what? If you don't know your numbers and you don't know your math down to the penny, or you feel like, back to what I said, in a marketplace, that if you don't know how to identify where the fruit is at, and you don't know marketing and advertising, which I think I'm very, very good at marketing. It's my passion. And to admit something here while we're all talking, I was talking to people like a Michael Dahlke. People have How to Run a Successful Window Cleaning Business by John Baxter. No, I haven't. That sounds really good. So when you look at, real quick, let me back up. Like I said, Joe Kowalski said, you build an elevator and you ride it to the top, right? So it doesn't matter how you feel. It's geometric. It just works, okay? It doesn't matter how you feel. What if you could put your finger on something, right? And you can literally, it grows like this, but you're still just doing the effort of the 1-to-1 ratio, but you're getting a 1-to-20 geometric effect. There's no way in hell you can get, you know, a 1-to-20 geometric effect by you doing 20 times the work. It's not possible. But I'm just getting locked up. This is the shit that I don't talk about on YouTube. So, like I said, I'm talking to these guys who own $1 million businesses, and I ask them, I'm like, bro, I've been around in the game for a while, and I still can't wrap my head around how you've built $1 million business based off what my eyeballs can see in the marketplace. Like my competition where I live will literally clean windows for half the amount that I can afford to clean them, right? And I know not to compete with those people exactly, but I guess the question is you have to spend so much money in marketing so you can get, literally maybe 1 out of 100 phone calls so you can afford enough money to pay a full staff and infrastructure to make that happen. When I talk to a guy like a DJ Carroll, he's talking about the profit margins that he makes in pressure washing and soft washing of homes is so high that he can easily afford all that infrastructure. So that's what I think it is. I think it's what level of service are you offering? Are you offering packages? Are you offering upsells? Things like that. So I think where I fell short in 2018 and what I'm seriously looking at in my business is too many services. The power of focus. What's up, Stephanie Huddleston? What did you get the book, How to Make $500 a Day Cleaning Windows? That's a deep book. If that's the book that you got because we're here on the Window Cleaning Blueprint channel, I can't wait till you read it. And if you got it too, DTN Professional Window Cleaning, yeah, there's an audiobook version of it as well. So I go through everything of how to start from nothing to grow a window cleaning business all the way up to the point where you're making $500 a day or more. It's amazing how you can go from stuck in a dead-end job and to living a very comfortable lifestyle off cleaning people's windows. It's mind-blowing to me. I still can't believe it, and I'm still excited about it, very much so, that we'll be in somebody's house. Now, I'm talking about when you're still level 1 or level 2 business, right? Level 1 is you're by yourself doing all the work. Level 2 is where you got employees, you're doing sales and marketing, but maybe you're in the field as well. So I'm both. I'm sales and marketing. I'm still in the field. I have a secretary. I have virtual assistants. I have a couple employees, but I'm still hands all over the business, right? And then the next level 3, level 4 is where you're completely off the truck and you have an organization built to the point where you have it all being done for you, and you're probably just doing the sales and the marketing in the business. So the aspect that I'm talking about of being in a plateau is, yes, I do have an audio version. If you go to keithkalfas.com, you can get the audio version. You can listen to it, or you can go on audible.com and you can just get the book on Audible and listen to it. That's what's really cool. So, but after you've been in this business enough time, and you can see what got you here won't get you there. And that's what I'm talking about. So this Jonathan Potoshnik was talking about, being in the business 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of banging your head against the wall before you finally realize that having a really good understanding of, cash-based and accrual-based accounting, keeping on track of your books, knowing your pricing structures, your business model, this is all extremely powerful to consider and dive into. And without really buckling down and redefining your business every year, I don't think it's possible to scale. I am friends with, well, I'll answer that in a second, Matt Smith, and he's right here in Michigan. He is a window cleaning soft wash business, a service industry coach. The guy's awesome. And he told me about the amount of workload that he has and what he does. And it's very impressive, right? And I look at what it took to get him there. So, and there's a lot of sacrifice involved. Where do I see myself in the next 3 years? A business with 2 to 3 crews, completely off of the truck, strictly doing sales and marketing or subcontracting all the work, and obviously doing 0 physical labor. 3 to 400,000 in revenue, and then also my media business will have grown 3 times that How do you clear your mind and recalibrate? You're dealing with some of the worst depression you've ever had and you feel stuck. Well, Casey Lee, I think that the four main components of getting rid of depression are diet, exercise, good sleep, and then food. It's food, sleep, exercise, I can't fucking think of it. Maybe I wasn't supposed to tell you. So get rid of any fast food out of your diet immediately. Stop eating starches or any extra sugars. No deep fried foods. No fast food. If you're eating too much meat, cut down on it immediately and get to a very healthy, rich alkaline diet as fast as possible, and then catch up on sleep and immediately get away from negative people or negative habits. If you can get yourself to a higher calibrated level, like energetic level, you can do that. And also, if you're in a deep depression, you can go under hypnosis or hypnotic. There's stuff by John Assaraf called Neuro Gym is the name of the program, or David McGraw's Limitless program. Look up David McGraw, and he has hypnosis meditations that can help unlock some of those pathologies that are trapping you, because they take your energy. It's like a Fibonacci sequence. So it'll go like this, and then it'll get bigger and bigger, and it'll create a stable datum to where now this depression, you can't stop it, and you can't even manufacture happiness. How do I keep such clear skin? Oh God, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, dog. Over the past 3 years, I've gone through some major depression myself and some really fucking hard times. All my hair went gray on the side. I look like 10 years older. So I'm actually pretty insecure about the way I look in my skin. So how do I keep such clear skin? I don't know. Don't eat a whole lot of deep fried foods and stay away from a lot of sugars, because stuff like that and acidity in your diet makes you break out. But I don't know. You're starting a window cleaning business and there's already 3 companies I will be going against. Is it even possible? Depending on where you live, if you live in a rural area, it'd probably be really hard, but you could still do it if by separating yourself in just like different people respond to different things, and if you study marketing. But if you live in a metropolitan area where there's just hundreds of thousands of people, fuck yeah, dude, don't even worry about the competition. The competition is good. That means that there's a demand for that business, and then you can get in there and get some of that too. You hate fast food. It should be criminal what is sold as food. Yeah, it's not really food. It's just filler calories with GMO and a bunch of bullshit. So Casey Lee, Robert Taylor Chapert, Patrick Wheatley. You didn't know I could play the piano, DTN? Yeah, I started playing the piano when I was a little kid by ear, and I could probably play like 3 or 4 songs really good and trick you into thinking I can play the piano. And I've always wanted to pursue it, but music doesn't pay your bills, and it's very time consuming. So I just play here and there, and I got a keyboard at home. And I used to sing too. I used to take singing lessons 3 to 4 hours a day. I would do intense vocal training, riffs, runs, scales, mastering vibrato. Like, I was so obsessed with music and singing and playing the piano that I was recording music, and I was doing my second album and shooting these shitty music videos. And that shit doesn't pay the bills. You know what I mean? So it's fun to not get diluted. You're opening in Ohio? Oh, that's awesome. What else we got here? Sing us something, dog. I can't sing for shit anymore. I sound like a dying cat. And another thing about singing, just like playing in the car, there's a specific musical state of consciousness that you develop it and you work it like a muscle. And then you can become more rhythmically inclined to where now when you sing, it sounds great. So I suck at singing now. So I'm probably not going to sing. What's the best squeegees to buy? The professional shit, anything professional. I use Sorbo, Sorbo squeegees. I have a 12-inch, a 14, a 16, and a 22-inch Sorbo. Get a 14 or 16-inch Sorbo squeegee. Those are really, really good and easy to learn with. And make sure they have an articulating head on them. But just don't buy the cheap shit, because then you'll get frustrated. Or it'll be cool to learn with the cheap squeegees and get the hang of it. And then when you switch over to something expensive, well, in the grand scheme, it's not expensive, but you'll be really surprised and it'll feel like a gift. I never knew you sang until I watched a rap video with you and Eric Reno. Was it that one song where I was like, I know it feels like I've been here before. Been walking so long, knocking on every door. It was like there's like mountains and shit. Because one of our best friends, he committed suicide, and I made a song about it and shit. That might have been. What microphone do I use? Right now I'm just talking into the cell phone, but I do have this microphone called the Rode Video Mic Me. It's like $60 and it's awesome. I also have a Shure SM7B Rode mics. Unger Ninja. Would I ever go back to working a corporate job? No, I would for 500,000. I would maybe do it for $250,000 a year, as long as I can get some really high level experience. Like if I could take some type of high level marketing position that would make me a better entrepreneur, I might do that just to get some really good solid sense of the structure and systems of a corporate environment like that. But then I would just bail out and start my own businesses. Do I ever done the Dave Ramsey financial piece? I do have that entire program at home, like the whole kit. A client gave it to me, but I'm not into it. I heard you sing to your wife the other night in the video. It was good. Oh, I thought I deleted that. My wife fucking hates when I sing. She says it's like egotistical or whatever. Angel's Window Washing here from Modesto, California. Give me a shout out. Lewis, what up, thou? Road all the way. You should take your show on the road. What show? The Marketing ROI? Because that's going to be huge. 2019 Marketing ROI. There's going to be like 300 people. I already got Kurt Kempton is going to be there, the founder of Responsibid, talking, speaking, teaching. I'm pretty sure Joshua Latimer is going to be there again. DJ Carroll is going to be teaching. Eric Reno. We've got I just talked to him. Not Kurt Kempton from Responsibid, but Sid Graff from Squeegeology. It's going to be a 2-day full live immersive event. So I'll be promoting that in a few months. Do you think you'll ever get into snow plowing? No, I did snow plowing for 15 years until I pulled my hair out. I'm sick of it. I don't want to do it. If you go snow plowing, you better go all the way and be professional at it. Otherwise, it's just another working for money, right? Keith, what's the scariest moment you had in business? That's a good question. 2015, it was Forrest and I and a couple other guys working on a project. It was a real estate R&R. We were just ripping out the whole landscaping and putting down sod. And we were ripping out this shrub with the truck. It was a big ass burning bush shrub next to a gas meter. And Forrest told me it was okay to hit the gas, and he wasn't paying attention. And I almost ripped. The shrub ripped out with like 5,000 pounds of tension and got hooked on the gas meter, and it bent the gas meter and it almost broke it. And oh god, we called Consumers Energy out, and they came out and they were testing it all. They could have billed me like $3,000. It could have blown up the house. I don't know. But I was just scared shitless, and somehow by the grace of God, I was let off the hook of not having to pay this huge Consumers Energy bill. So before you dig underground or you do anything, you can get yourself in a world of shit really fast. And another thing, Forrest, well, I don't want to talk about him. It was Forrest did a couple things that just almost put me in a fucking courtroom, dude. And I've also had other employees just do shit that just has scared the living bejesus out of me to the point where it made me terrified to grow my business. And I have gotten counsel on, business owners with, $1 million plus businesses. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. Like if everything is legit, like what if the A, B, and C happens? And at some point, did I fire the guy? No, I didn't fire him because I chalked it up as my fault. And that's when I became a complete obsessive control freak in my business, crawling all over and micromanaging everything everybody does because I'm constantly afraid that at any moment, I'm going to end up living in a fucking dumpster and they're going to put me in a courtroom. Because when you've had all types of different employees work for you, like that's why hiring is so important and developing leadership skills and not hiring just because you're desperate and you need the work done and you're in an emergency mode in a reactive state is so important because most employees or employee-minded people, they don't give a fuck. They're literally just there to get a paycheck. They don't give a shit if they burn your entire business into the ground and make you homeless, and they'll just go along setting the next village on fire. So I have a lot of head trash around that based off the experience, and until I get over that, so that's just me, right? Do you have any channels you could recommend on YouTube? Yeah, Tom Bilyeu, Bilyeu. And anything by like Jordan Peterson? Oh, not that I'm a bad boss. No, I think I'm a great boss. Almost too nice to the point where I let people walk on me. Kids anytime soon? And that's a new thing. Not letting anybody walk on you anymore. Draw your line in the sand with people. And just have very firm and strict boundaries, which I think takes time, right? So you're not egotistical about it. You're actually third stage conscious, which means you have... you're conscious. Okay, kids anytime soon? No, I want kids very bad, but I'm not ready for kids. I feel I have a lot of things that I want to do in my life, and I want to travel the country. I want to travel the world, and I think kids would be a huge boat anchor around my neck. And I know that if I would eventually flip out and I would go chase my dreams anyways, which means I would leave my wife at home taking care of the kids while I travel and chase my dreams, which she would resent me very much. And it would probably cause massive chaos inside of my marriage because I feel like I've spent the last 15 years working myself to the bone to get to a place financially and consciously where I can finally, go out and do great things. And now I'm going to have kids and put a boat anchor around my neck. Now, obviously, the people that I know that have kids that tell me, no, you're just thinking that, Keith, it'll make you more successful, are the very, very same people. I'm not saying any names. You have no idea who it is because I don't talk about these people on social media. But they're the very same people that leave their wife at home with the kids while they go chase their dreams. And I don't think that's very fair to just ditch your wife with the kids while you go out and be some entrepreneur, right? I'm just speaking from hypothetical, but yeah. Thanks for the shout out. You just started your business, Angels Window Cleaning, window washing. Oh, that's awesome. What do you recommend? Advertising you're competing with a low budget? Yeah, learning deep about search engine optimization. Like I'm on chapter 7 right now in my new book, The Marketing ROI, which I'll be releasing this spring. And it's mainly for service business owners, written by a service business owner. And there's a ton of interviews with very successful business owners in it. And I'm writing a chapter about SEO right now, search engine optimization, and getting to the top of Google searches, search engine results page. So learn SEO, learn content marketing, and do it more and more often than anybody else in your local market as quickly as possible. That's a free and organic way to market your business. Now, if you have any money to pay for paid advertisement, postcards by like Send Jim, or manually doing it yourself, which is very time consuming, and Facebook ads. But the most powerful thing you could do with money is Google AdWords. Go on Google AdWords Express and create an account, get your whole business profile all set up, create a well-worded headline and ad, and start advertising to your local market in high time, and that'll get the phone ringing pretty quick. But it's also pretty expensive, so you have to figure out, your law of diminishing returns. What would I do if I was 18 again? I really thought about that. I would probably fuck up my whole life, because I would go, this is my chance to chase. That answer changes. Actually, if you asked me a few years ago, it would be to chase some music career or something like that. But now it would be to get into a business a lot earlier with a lot better head on my shoulders. And it would have been to not make the dumbass mistakes that I made when I was 18, right? I think one big waste of time in your life, I feel comfortable saying this, is getting involved in relationships. I'm talking about like dating with people that you don't belong with, or that you're wasting time with and spinning your wheels with. If you're in a bad relationship, just get the fuck out of it as soon as you can, and get on with your life and be selfish and care about your own success. And then if there's somebody that you would consider marrying, I'll hold off for a little bit to make sure it's the right person. And then if you are married, make it the best marriage possible. But going back to 18 years old, I think a lot of time can be wasted in dumbass relationships that a fucking waste of time, dude. How's the weather here? Today was a really nice day. I walked my dogs around. We actually just wrapped up our whole season just now. Keith, you are so enlightened, man. Your aura is always so big, brother. Your mind is straight gold. Nothing to do with ego. You're the shiznit. Can't even tell you how much I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. But I think maybe there's something in me that you see in you, and vice versa. But I really do genuinely appreciate that. There's a big storm tomorrow? No shit, no. Look at this. I'm just sitting here in this office, just chilling. So, I think that why people watch my videos is because you can see or feel, or maybe you can't articulate it, but a lot of people watch my videos because I post a lot of fucking videos online, first of all, but it's because you can feel internal struggle inside of me. I'm sitting on both sides of the fence, so there's a dichotomy, and there is it's a depolarizing energy that creates what's the word? It's a type of friction that I think is relatable. That's what I think. I may be hallucinating. What's this? Keith, where do you think you need improvement in yourself and your business? Okay, improvement in myself, which is not really my fault, but it's the way where our society is that the depolarization of masculine feminine consciousness. What I mean by that is we as a society, men have their masculinity stripped from them. So for me, it's getting very deeply in touch with the pure core masculinity, which is an alpha, a leader, believing in myself. And so there's a very much a part of me, it's a shell that is in a lot of anxiety, running scripts in my head and stories about what things mean. It's almost like a mild schizophrenia. It won't stop. My mind is racing all day, and I'm gritting my teeth. And I really want to get to a place where I have just such a sense of deep inner knowing and peace and belief in myself that anything that crashes against me just falls away. Even if it takes my own life, it can't stop me. So deeply rooted in the intrapersonal aspect of spirituality that I know that I know that I know that I know that I come from source, that I come from God, that God is real, and that nothing, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. There's still a lot of self-doubt and residue inside of me and things from my own childhood that I just can't seem to shake. My wife's calling me. So and then in business, it would really to get over the self-limiting beliefs that it's damn near fucking impossible to grow a multi-million-dollar service business and attract the type of employees that would fight to the death for the culture of the business. So when it comes to that, growing a big company, that's one thing that's where I'm at. So Joseph Brown, I look up to you a lot. I have followed you for years, and I understand your struggles. I started my window cleaning business, and I look at you and I watch your videos. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that, and I'm sure that we can relate. We are kindred spirits. Good Thursday to everybody. Because you're real as fuck. You going to the meetup on the 15th? Yes, I'll be there. Brian's Lawn Maintenance in Novi, Michigan. Look up his channel. He'll be talking about it. I think that's this Saturday. This in a couple days. So I'll be there for a couple hours, hanging out, shooting some videos, talking business. Very important to be there. So if you're in the area, come out. I'll see you there. When does the worst for window cleaning? Winnipeg, Manitoba. Jordan Harper, the Dane A24. Ueno Woohoo. Angela Carlton, Casey Lee, Patrick Wheatley, DTN Professional Cleaning, Joseph Brown, Alameda, Landscape, the Dane 824. Where's the marketing ROI? Found to be. Oh, I don't know what you're saying, but the 2019 event will be in Detroit, Michigan. It'll be a 2-day event, and it'll be amazing. One strange, weird, rare little talent or gift that I have. I can plan an event with 1,000 people and orchestrate it and collect ticket money and set it all up in the venue and literally go on stage and speak in front of 1,000 people. It's nothing to me. Put me in front of 10,000 people. I'll prepare a little bit more, but I am fucking so fired up about doing shit like that some other people would be terrified to do that. Just like some people growing a big business, to them, they see it so clearly, or some people playing the guitar are amazing. Like, we all have these different things, and I think capitalizing on your strengths is very important versus beating yourself up for 10 years straight trying to become something good that you suck at, right? Basic startup cost for a window cleaning business? Like $50. It's amazing. You buy a squeegee, a scrubber, some soap, and some business cards and a t-shirt, and literally go around knocking on doors and then cleaning windows, collecting cash, take the money, and then reinvest it, take this, and blah, 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 then get into people's homes, and then literally before you know it, if you hustle your ass off, I mean, next thing you know, you got, it just quantifies, it's geometric. Somebody retracted their message. Helena Hedstrom. Wow, thank you, DTN. So, the one thing that's interesting to me that I never ever see the really successful people talk about, it's almost like they're exempt from the struggles that we go through, the deep struggles that you have at home and with your family, in your household, the anxieties that you have. How do you go through an extremely chaotic moment in your home and then in the very next minute be on the phone or closing a high ticket customer and be able to turn those switches on and off. It's almost like your empathy patterns. You have to somehow shut your empathy off and turn it back on like a switch. Dan Kennedy, who's an amazing marketing genius, he calls it quarantining, boxing, collateralizing. This is good. Hang with me here. He calls it what's it called when an infrastructure things are isolated off from other things. So he said he went through like he literally got his car repoed outside in a driveway and then went inside and closed a $10,000 sale. He went through a horrible divorce and then he was able to he said, you take your problem, you can put this insane problem that's ripping your chest apart and just put it in a box, close the box like it doesn't exist, and then deal with this right now, changing channels cleanly and effectively execute. So imagine like you're running your business and then you get some extremely dramatical phone call from somebody in your family where they're crying and suffering and screaming at you on one end or threatening you or whatever is this shit's going on and your heart's pounding. You're like, okay, I'm trying to run my fucking business right now, but this is really happening, right? And then you can get off the phone and go, you get off the phone and then you go, like you're the Terminator. Fucking wife's calling me again. Sorry, I shouldn't have said it like that. But she always calls me right when I'm in the middle of making videos. So I'm going to take the call because she called me twice in a row. She doesn't normally do that, so it's probably important. So I'm going to jump off here. But I think if you're a very empathetic person and you're very sensitive to energy, it's going to take a little bit of extra work. But I think it would be well worth it in the long run to develop healthy boundaries and structures inside of your consciousness that allow you to be a more effective executive in the business world, in this foundational reality. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Peace out, yo. I'm going to call my wife back. Dan Kennedy's the shit. Compartmentalization. I love you, Casey Lee. You compartmentalize.